Guys, welcome to Darren's Corner, and today we're going to be setting up a brand new retro machine. Now, I had a retro virtual machine which I'd set up Windows 8.1, and I've just recently been given a couple of sim games, the first two Sims games, and neither of them work on Windows 8.1. So what I've done now is I've scrapped that one, and I'm now going to go back to Windows XP to set everything up in XP. And then I'll then get it all set back up, and then just group everything accordingly, and then just set everything up, put everything into their relevant folders, and then we'll be able to work on that and see what I can find. This is going to be interesting. Everything will be put into one place, and the rest, as I say, will be a complete and utter mystery, particularly as to what I can find. So without further ado, let's carry on. Right, join me back in a bit, guys. I've already run into mayhem. See you in a bit. Welcome back, guys. And yeah, we've got it working, and it's because I'd switched the type of hard drive from SCSI, because it gave me a SCSI drive rather than an IDE. So I've now switched it over to IDE, and it works now. And of course, because it's 1.5 terabytes, I'll have to format it as NTFS. All being well, and it will work. Just take a drink. I had a serious case of leg cramp earlier. It was really painful. Wait for that to sort itself out. And then with that being said, we'll stay here for a moment. Join me back in a bit, and I'll take you through the next part of setup. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys, and you've just joined me now at the setting up of Windows XP. Now, we're just going to sort everything out. Let's just customize that because I come from the UK, and obviously I want something that matches that. Languages. So we've got, yeah, well, obviously I am English. The English language was invented in this country. Let's get rid of that one, and we'll start again. That takes care of that, and hopefully everything is set to UK. Okay, click next. Sort this out. Click next. So join me back in a bit now, because this now requires the product key, and obviously I don't want to show that on camera. See you in a bit, guys. And we're back, and we've now done the product key, and now we can just get prepared to set the rest of it up. So that I'm just going to call Darren's Corner, if it will let me. No, it won't, because there's no spaces, or we call them full stops. Let's see if I can do that. No. But you can. Let's go back. But I can. So I can't do that. And it will do that. No. So what I'll do in this case is that. And then of course we want to change that to Greenwich Mean Time. Next. I'll activate the soft screen because Windows XP requires activating, needs activating. And now what we'll do is we'll sort the network out in a bit. We'll sort. The network's already been done by the looks of things, because normally I'd have to select stuff. Normally I'd have a setup when choosing the network. That's already been done. This chair's falling to bits. And then we've got that as well. But it's a good idea for me to set up using Windows XP. And then at the same time, I can then customize to my own liking as well. But let me just get the setup of it done first. And then with that, obviously, I need to activate it as well. Again, I'll do that off screen. And then I'll just personalize it afterwards and then be able to just do everything else with that. So you'll get to see all that, although you've probably seen it on many other videos, not necessarily mine, but it's just you get to see it all set up and you get to see the process of all of that as well. So we've got 24 minutes. I'm going to call another quick break and I'll see you back here in a bit. Welcome back, guys. And you've just joined me now at the final part. So we've got 9 minutes left of setup. So I carried on as I got back to it when there was 10 minutes left. So you get to see what's going on within the last 10 minutes. Now this won't take 10 minutes. It doesn't usually. Now I always remember it. Put the phone on charge. I always remember it when it does that. I actually can't remember what I was going to say. It's completely gone. Never mind. That's right. So I always remember it. So when the first, in the original release of Windows XP, you had 9 groups of digits for activation, but the last group only had 2 characters. It only had 2 digits. And then after that, it went up to, with Service Pack 1, it then had 6 digits. Now they all have 7 digits. But I always remember when I saw the original release of Windows XP and we were activating that, the last group of digits only had, the last group in the activation code only had 2 digits and all the others had 6. So anyway, we've got 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. That's going to do something. And what I'm going to do, before I set the hardware up, I'm obviously going to activate it. And then I can sort the rest of it out as well. That's going to come up and say the display is too small. Let's just sort that out. Yeah. To improve the appearance of visual elements, yeah, we'll click yes to that one. That's a bit better. Oh, what do you think you're doing? Let's click next. Obviously I'm going to turn on automatic updates, but that's not going to do any favours at this point because there are no updates. Do that and we're good to go straight away. Just wait for that to sort itself out. I'm going to adjust the screen resolution again. Look at that, it's come up with Darren's Corner. Right, I don't think I can find any antivirus software that's going to run on Windows XP. Not that it matters too much. It's come up with 800 by 600. I want to do 1920 by 1080. That's much more like it. And then what I could do after that, once I've restarted everything, which I'll most likely have to do after I've done the hardware, is I can then personalise it. But join me back in a bit because I now need to activate this copy of Windows, and I'm going to do that off screen. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys, and I have now activated Windows XP. That's always the first thing that I do when it comes to setting a computer up. I always activate the products first because then it gives a peace of mind. Now with that being done, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, because the legacy tools are because the VMware tools are no longer shipped with this version of VMware Fusion, I'll now have to do it this way. So let's go into settings. Before I do that, let's eject the disk because that's Windows XP taken care of. I can now put that back in my box of software. Got loads of software. But what I want to do next is go into the CD and then set up the tools. Just quickly do that. Software library, but we need to be pre-Vista in this case. And then I'm going to take another break after I've done that and then look at some other things. Like I want to change the theme of my Windows setup to a black theme after I've done this. I want to change it to a black theme, so Royal Noir or Lunar Noir would be a better one, or something that gives you a black theme. But in the meantime, I'm just setting this up, and that will then allow me to do a full screen of 1325 60 by 1365 because that's the ideal resolution that I want for this. So at least then I can see what is going on. That's done. If it will let me. 2560. Which it won't, or will it? No, so let me do then 2450. do 2420. There we go. And then obviously I'm going to restart. But that looks a lot better. And then what I'll do is you'll see me set everything else up on screen, but obviously I need to sort everything else out first. The relevant pictures and everything, relevant pictures and themes galore. And then I'll do customization and I'll let you know how that goes. And then of course, well, you get to see how that goes. But then there's some other things as well I want to show you. Just wait for that to sort itself out. Oh, hello. So you've reverted back to what? You've reverted back to what it normally is. My 640 by 480. Now we're cooking on gas. Although that looks incredibly thin. There we go. Now I can do 2560 by 1365. That looks a lot better than what I had before. But join me back in a bit because I'm going to carry some stuff over it, set it all up with the personalise section, and you'll see how it all comes about. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys, and now you've just joined me where I'm just about to personalise everything. Well, first things first, what I want to do is I'm going to set my wallpaper to my Darren's Corner. That looks good, like that. But what I do want to look at while I'm thinking about it is doing the theme. So I managed to find a good dark theme for it. So that does. But that didn't do much, cop, because it's gone over to Windows Classics. So let me just swap that back. Let me get rid of that. And then just slip back to XP. Because it also turned my wallpaper black as well. It's reverted everything. But I'm going to have to set my profile picture again. I have to set the background again. Right. Going to properties. Let's look at browse. Well, that didn't necessarily work, did it? Well, let's click cancel. And I think I'm just going to have to pause again. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. And we now have a noir theme that actually works. So this is what we've got. So this is the Royale theme. If I should show you what it does, that's what it looks like. And this is Noir, the black theme. This is the closest we ever got to a dark. This is the closest we ever got to dark mode for XP. So if we then have a look at this, it looks a lot better than what I had before. So let me just come out of that. I've still got my background. But yeah, I do prefer something like that. That's that taken care of. Next thing I want to look at is setting up the Royale. Do effects because I want to use large icons. I wanted to use large icons. And hopefully, oh, it reverted back, so that doesn't help. It's gone back, it's gone to classic. There we go. That gives me perfect time then to work out the thumbnails are the same. Let's switch back to tiles. And then we'll just go back. And then the next thing I want to do is do clear type. Which takes care of that. But I think what I need to do in this case, if I go back into my documents, is cut that. I wouldn't normally do this unless I had a reason to. But I'm just trying to work out where the themes are. This doesn't go too well. Unless, if I look at browse, because maybe that was what's going on. Well, that'll have to do for now. I need to go into the control panel now that I come to think about it. Because with that being said, go into users. And I want to be able to not create a password, but change the picture to this one. And that comes up with that. Well, the only other thing that I can think of with the theme is just do silver. Like that. Oh, that's olive green. Let's do silver, which is the next best thing. And then I'll just have a look at that. But then, of course, it's reverted my theme back. So it's reverted the picture back. So I'll just quickly set the background to that. Get rid of everything in there. And then I'll just have to keep on looking as per personalisation to see if that will work. And then the rest of that I can then set up off screen. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.